Welcome to Your Sun, the Youth and Women's Support Network. I'm Charmaine Sangari from Myself Central. The last couple of weeks we have been discussing a journey to wholeness which you can start or you may have started after an incarcerated situation or coming out of a correctional facility. This program is not just for women who have come out of a correctional facility though. This is for any women who are on a journey to wholeness or who recognise that there are steps within themselves that they can take towards a better life that they want and they desire. In week 1 we started looking at ways to become self-sufficient. In week 2 we started looking at different ways we could start becoming creative, and one of the ways that we went through to become creative was in the wardrobe department and looking at a makeover and starting to visualize what it is that you want to look like and what it is that you want. Week 3 we started looking more into what it is that we actually want, because knowing what we want is going to give us the goal and that is going to help us in creating the steps. This week we are going to be looking at how to take responsibility and how to stop making excuses. This week was particularly hard to focus with the George Floyd murder and the riots and the protesting that is going on all around the world. It's a really difficult time, and when we're discussing this in terms of law of attraction, we don't want to be the victims anymore. So whilst we are protesting to not be the victims anymore, it's really important for us to start looking at our mentality and to stop playing the victim within our own heads. And this comes by stopping making excuses and stopping blaming. Every time we blame something else for our situation, we ultimately give up our power, and the power goes to whatever it is we have given the power to in blaming it. So if you say something like, I can't do that because I don't have any money, you're giving your power up to the lack of money, and concentrating on the lack of money is going to further perpetuate the perception that you have that you do not have any money. We're thinking of ourselves in terms of creators. It's not necessarily that we are creating our future, but we are creating the story and the narrative that we tell ourselves in our head, which changes our perception of the reality that we experience. This week, as I was watching the riots and protesting, and as I scrolled through my Facebook feed and saw the posts, there is a very strong sense of defending ourselves, and everyone is in defense mode where we are defending our beliefs. And we need to defend those beliefs within ourselves, but still try and operate in the world with some level of understanding that everyone has a different perception, and it's only through listening and understanding someone else's perception and gently telling them our own perception that we are going to make any changes. The change has to start within us, so we have to be the ones to take responsibility for the evil that is within us. Once we can reconcile that within ourselves and accept that there is that level of evil in us, it becomes easier to go into the world and have a level of humility with someone else, because we can only perceive in someone else the level of evil that is within us. When we start recognizing the good in us and we actually choose to start resonating with that goodness in us, knowing that there is evil, we become empowered because we are choosing the attributes and the characteristics we are going to display. So we can be kindness, we can be patience, we can be the miracle, but we have to choose to be that within ourselves. And to choose that, you have to recognize that there are things that you can't blame shift and take yourself out of the victim state. You're not a victim of your circumstances unless you choose to be a victim of them. Taking responsibility for where you want to be rather than staying where you are as a victim of your past circumstances is the best way to empower yourself, and it can be a choice that you make. You can literally choose to take responsibility for where you are at right now and where you want to be. It's only your perception that can change your reality. Know what you want and know that you are going to get there, and you can get there literally by right this minute deciding that's where I want to be and that's where I'm going. It is literally as simple as that. Let go of all of the blame. Let go of all of the excuses. Acceptance is the key to responsibility. And taking responsibility is the key to allowing whatever it is that you feel you deserve to come into your life. But you have to feel like you deserve it. You have to change your own perception of what it is that you want and how you're going to get there. Everything that's happening right now in the world is showing us what we don't want. We don't want to be treated a certain way anymore. Therefore, we need to look at the opposite end of the spectrum, at what we do want. What is it that we want? We want respect. We want equality. We want admiration. We want to be kind. We want to be a light. We want to love. We want to laugh. They are like the best things in life. And the more we take responsibility, the more we move into alignment with who our true self is. Because our true self doesn't blame us. Our true self doesn't shame us. It doesn't have guilt. It doesn't carry those heavy burdens. It's free. So for us to be free, we need to release ourselves from the cages that we put up in our mind, which are the excuses that we tell ourselves that it's okay for us to be living the situation that we're living in because we are victims of our past. We need to be creatively perceiving our future and our present, which means being present in each moment. When these thoughts come up that make you want to blame shift, we need to be present in that moment to stop that thought, observe it, yes, but actually it's not what we're going to accept. I'm just sitting here, obviously, out in the garden, out in nature, just feeling the vibes. And I'm looking up and there's a massive grey cloud, but what is the saying? Every cloud has a silver lining. So it is literally all about perception, and we can choose to just look for the silver lining. And we don't have to take responsibility for the grey cloud. Just keep it moving, keep it focused, keep it moving towards what it is that you want. Honestly, I really hope that you can just even start cultivating a desire to move towards your goals. And if you do need any help or support with any of that, you can contact yoursun.org. And you can also contact me on Instagram at myselfcentral or Miss Moore. But I really hope that this week you can start really taking responsibility moment by moment for the person that you want to be. Because ultimately, with all the help in the world, only you can get there by making the intermittent small choices and being aware of the chatter that goes on in your head, which is why meditation is so powerful, because it gives you a moment to just actually observe the thoughts that are coming into your consciousness, and at that point you then are empowered to make a choice as to whether to feed it or whether to just bin it, delete, no thank you. I hope you have a really, really good week. There's a lot to think about. Just please be aware of how you conduct yourself during these protests, what you stand for, what you say. Be responsible for what you say, and try and bring together people in an umbrella of understanding and unity.